I never believed in fate until the day I died for a woman I'd never met. It was a Thursday. I remember because Thursdays meant the farmer's market on Bleecker Street, and I'd been carrying a bag of blood oranges when the black SUV screeched around the corner. The woman in the cream coat didn't see it coming. She was elegant, older, walking with the kind of grace that money couldn't buy, only breeding. I saw the barrel first. My body moved before my brain caught up. I dropped the oranges and ran, crashing into her just as the gunfire started. The world became sound and pain. One bullet, two, three. I felt each one like a hammer blow, shoulder, side, thigh. 4, 5. The woman's scream. 6. My knees hit pavement. 7. Then silence. I was on the ground, tasting copper. The cream coat lady was beneath me, unhurt, her eyes wide with shock. Around us, people were screaming, running. The SUV was gone. "Oh my God," she whispered, her hands shaking as she touched my face. "Oh my God, you're bleeding." I tried to speak, but blood filled my mouth. That's when I heard his voice for the first time. Madre. It wasn't loud, but it cut through everything. I turned my head, barely, and saw shoes first. Italian leather, polished to a mirror shine. Then a suit that probably cost more than my yearly rent. Then his face. He was the most beautiful and terrifying thing I'd ever seen. Dark hair, sharp jaw, eyes like black ice. But it was the way he moved that froze me. Controlled, precise. Like violence contained in an expensive package. He dropped to his knees beside his mother, because that's who she was, I realized through the haze of pain, and his hand went to my throat. Not to hurt, to check my pulse. "Dante," his mother gasped. "She saved me. She ran." I see what she did. His fingers were warm against my skin. His eyes met mine, and something passed between us that I didn't understand. Something old and inevitable. "Stay with me. Do you understand? Stay with me." I wanted to tell him I was trying, but darkness was pulling at me. "Get the car," he snapped at someone. Then his arms were under me, lifting. I'd never been carried before. It should have hurt, but all I felt was the steel band of his arms and the steady thunder of his heartbeat against my cheek. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lucia," I whispered. "Lucia." He said it like a prayer, like a promise. "I'm going to fix this." I believed him. Then I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital room that didn't look like any hospital I'd ever seen. Private, quiet. Flowers everywhere, white roses, dozens of them. And him. He was sitting in a chair by the window, perfectly still, watching me with those dark eyes. "You're awake," he said quietly. I tried to sit up. Pain lanced through me, and I gasped. "Don't move." He was beside me in an instant, his hand on my shoulder, gentle but firm. "You had surgery. 7 bullets. They said you shouldn't have survived." 7 bullets. The memory crashed back. The woman, the gunfire. "Your mother is alive because of you." His hand was still on my shoulder. I became aware of how close he was, how he smelled like cedar and something darker. How his thumb was moving in small circles against my collarbone, like he wasn't aware he was doing it. "I don't understand," I whispered. "Why would someone—" "That's not your concern." It should have sounded dismissive, but it didn't. It sounded protective. "My name is Dante Salvatore," he said, "and I owe you a debt that can never be repaid." Salvatore. The name sent ice down my spine. Everyone in the city knew that name. Everyone knew what it meant. Mafia. My face must have shown my fear because his expression shifted. Something almost like regret crossing his features. "You're safe here," he said. "No one will touch you. I give you my word." I want to go home. You will, when you're healed. He paused. But we need to talk first. Before I could ask what he meant, the door opened. A doctor entered, nervous, deferential. Behind him, two men in dark suits, guards. Mr. Salvatore, the doctor said, we need to discuss the young lady's care plan. She has the best surgeons in the state, Dante said, not looking away from me. Whatever she needs, cost is irrelevant. Of course, sir, but there's also the matter of, the police will want to speak with her, about the incident. Something dangerous flashed in Dante's eyes. The police will be told it was a random drive-by, gang violence, nothing to do with her. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was a lie. We both knew it. And her family? The doctor pressed. They'll be worried. I don't have family, I heard myself say. It's just me. The words hung in the air. Dante's expression didn't change, but I saw his hand tighten on the bed rail. Then it's settled, he said quietly. Lucia will recover here, under my protection, until she's well enough to return to her life. The doctor nodded and left. The guards remained. When we were alone again, Dante pulled the chair closer to my bed. He sat, elbows on his knees, studying me like I was a puzzle he needed to solve. Why did you do it? He asked. Do what? Run toward the bullets, not away. I didn't know how to explain it, that I'd seen a woman about to die and my body had just moved, that I'd acted on pure instinct. I don't know, I whispered. I just couldn't let her die. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a small box. Velvet, expensive. My heart stopped. Dante, my mother is the most important person in my world, he said, his voice low and intense. Someone tried to kill her today. They would have succeeded if not for you. You took 7 bullets meant for her. You almost died for her. He opened the box. Inside was a ring, platinum, with a diamond that caught the light like a trapped star. I can't repay that debt, he continued, but I can give you something else. Protection, security, a name that will ensure no one ever touches you again. My mouth went dry. What are you saying? Marry me, Lucia. The world tilted. You're insane, I breathed. You don't even know me. I know you ran toward gunfire to save a stranger. I know you have no one to protect you. I know that the people who tried to kill my mother are still out there, and when they realize you saved her, they'll come for you too. Fear shot through me. I hadn't thought of that. This is the only way to keep you safe, he said. Under my name, under my protection. As my wife. This is crazy. Yes. For the first time, something like a smile touched his lips. But you're still alive because you did something crazy this morning. So maybe crazy is what we both need. I stared at him, at the ring, at the guards by the door, at the man who'd held me while I bled and promised to fix everything. I don't love you, I whispered. I know. His eyes never left mine. But you trust me. I saw it when you let me carry you. That's enough to start. He took my hand, careful of the IV, and slid the ring onto my finger. It fit perfectly. Say yes, Lucia, he murmured. Let me protect you. Let me give you the life you deserve. I should have said no, should have run, but I was so tired of being alone, and he was looking at me like I was something precious, like I mattered. Okay, I whispered. His hand tightened on mine. Then you're mine now, he said softly, and I protect what's mine. The wedding happened 3 days later. I was still in the hospital bed, still hooked to machines that beeped steadily in the quiet room. The doctor had protested, something about blood pressure and stress, but Dante had simply looked at him, and the protest died. I was learning that Dante Salvatore didn't ask. He decided. His mother came first. Isabella Salvatore. She wore black Chanel and carried white lilies, and when she saw me, tears filled her eyes. Mia cara, she whispered, sitting carefully on the edge of my bed. You gave me my life back. How can I ever thank you? You don't have to. I do. She took my hand, squeezing gently. My son told me what he asked you, what you agreed to. I waited for her to tell me it was madness, that I should run. Instead, she smiled. He's a good man, she said quietly. Hard, dangerous, but good. He will protect you with his life, Lucia. This I know. I don't understand any of this, I admitted. Why someone would want to hurt you? Why Dante thinks marrying me will fix anything? Because in our world, family is sacred. Her eyes grew distant. And once you bear the Salvatore name, you become untouchable. Anyone who harms you harms him. And no one is fool enough to do that. Our world, the Mafia, the thought made my stomach twist. I'm scared, I whispered. Good. She squeezed my hand again. Fear will keep you careful, but don't let it consume you. My son, he needs someone like you, someone pure. Before I could ask what she meant, the door opened. The priest entered first. Old, solemn, carrying a Bible worn soft with age. Behind him came Dante. He wore a black suit, crisp white shirt, no tie. His hair was perfectly styled. He looked like he was attending a funeral, not a wedding. But when his eyes found mine, something shifted in his expression, softened. You look beautiful, he said. I glanced down at myself. Hospital gown, bandages visible under the thin fabric, no makeup, hair tangled. I look like I got shot 7 times, I said. The corner of his mouth twitched, almost a smile. Yes, he agreed. And you're still the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. My breath caught. He said it like a fact. Like he wasn't trying to charm me, he was just observing truth. The ceremony was short, perfunctory. The priest spoke in Latin, and I understood none of it. Dante's responses were steady, certain. When it was my turn, my voice shook. I do. Dante took my hand, the one without the IV, and slid a second ring beside the engagement diamond, a wedding band, also platinum, engraved with words I couldn't read. Finché morte non ci separi, he murmured, until death parts us. Then he leaned down and kissed me. It was soft, careful. His lips barely brushed mine like he was afraid I'd break, but I felt it everywhere. When he pulled back, his thumb traced my cheekbone. You're mine now, he said quietly. Completely. The others came after the priest left, men in expensive suits, hard-eyed and watchful. Dante's men. They each approached the bed, nodded respectfully. Mrs. Salvatore, they murmured, one by one. Mrs. Salvatore. The name felt foreign, heavy. One man stayed longer than the rest, younger, with kind eyes and a scar across his jaw. Marco Romano, he introduced himself. Dante's second. If you need anything at all, you call me. He handed me a phone. Sleek, black, already programmed with numbers. I don't understand, I said. You will. He glanced at Dante, who stood by the window, arms crossed. Boss is a lot of things, but he doesn't do anything halfway. You're family now. That means we protect you. After they left, it was just Dante and me again. He pulled the chair close, sat down, and simply looked at me. You can ask, he said finally. Whatever you want to know. I had 1,000 questions, but only one made it past my lips. Who tried to kill your mother? His jaw tightened. The Russo family. Old enemies. There's been peace for 5 years, but... He paused. Apparently, they decided to break it. Why? Power. Territory. The usual reasons men kill each other. His eyes met mine. But you don't need to worry about that. You need to focus on healing. I'm your wife now. Don't I have a right to know what I'm part of? Something flickered in his expression. Surprise, maybe? Or respect? Yes, he said slowly. You do, but not yet. Not until you're stronger. It should have frustrated me. Instead, I felt oddly protected. When can I leave the hospital? I asked. Another week, the doctors say. Then you'll come home. Home? My home. Our home now. He hesitated. Unless you'd prefer your own apartment. I lived in a studio with broken heating, I said. I don't think I'm attached to it. Good. I had your things moved already. I blinked. You what? Your lease was month to month. I paid it off. Your belongings are in our room. Our room? I tested the words. We're sharing a room? You're my wife. A wife you've known for 3 days. His eyes darkened. A wife who saved my mother's life. A wife who wears my ring. A wife who needs protection I can only provide if you're close. So this is about protection. Yes. He leaned forward, his forearms on his knees. And about debt. And about the fact that when I carried you bleeding in my arms, something in me broke. Something that can't be fixed. My heart hammered. Dante. I won't touch you, he said quietly. Not until you want me to. You have my word. But you will live in my home, sleep in my bed, carry my name. Because that's the only way I can keep you alive. I should have been terrified. But all I felt was the strangest sense of safety. Okay, I whispered. He reached out, his hand cupping my cheek. His thumb brushed my lower lip. You say okay too easily, Lucia. It makes me think you trust too freely. Maybe I do. Then I'll have to be careful with that trust. His eyes held mine. Because I'm not a good man. I've done things that would horrify you, hurt people, killed people, and I'll do it again if they threaten what's mine. Am I supposed to be afraid of you now? Yes. Well, I'm not. For a long moment, we just stared at each other. Then he smiled. A real smile this time, small and almost boyish. You will be, he promised. Eventually, you'll see who I really am, and you'll wonder what you agreed to. He stood, pressed a kiss to my forehead. Rest, wife. I'll be back tomorrow. Where are you going? He paused at the door, looked back. To send a message to the people who tried to kill you. Dante. Sleep, Lucia. And don't worry about things that aren't your concern. Then he was gone, and I was left alone with his ring on my finger and the terrible knowledge that I'd just married the most dangerous man in the city. The Salvatore estate sat behind iron gates and walls covered in ivy. I saw it for the first time from the back of Dante's car, a black Mercedes with bulletproof glass and 2 armed guards in the front seats. My discharge from the hospital had been quiet, efficient. No paperwork, no questions. Just Dante's hand on the small of my back, guiding me carefully to the car. It's massive, I breathed as the gates swung open. It's been in my family for 4 generations, Dante said. He sat beside me, close enough that I could feel the warmth of him. My grandfather built the main house. My father added the west wing. And you? I added security. The car pulled up to the front entrance. Marble steps led to double doors carved with intricate patterns, roses and thorns intertwined. 2 more guards stood watch. Everything about this place screamed power and money and danger. Dante helped me out of the car, his arm steady around my waist. I was still weak, still healing, walking hurt. Slow, he murmured. We have time. The inside was even more breathtaking. High ceilings with crystal chandeliers, dark wood floors polished to a mirror shine, art that probably belonged in museums, and silence. Heavy, watchful silence. How many people live here? I asked. Just me. And now you. He guided me toward a grand staircase. My mother has her own home in the city. The staff come during the day but leave at night. I prefer privacy. Privacy or isolation. We climbed the stairs slowly, my hand gripping the banister. Halfway up, my legs started shaking. Without a word, Dante swept me into his arms. I can walk. You can barely stand. His voice was firm but gentle. Stop being stubborn. I fell quiet, my head against his shoulder. This was becoming familiar, being carried by him, feeling small and protected in his arms. He took me down a hallway lined with portraits, stern-faced men and elegant women, all bearing the same dark eyes. Your family? I asked. The dead ones. The living ones prefer not to be immortalized. He stopped at a door at the end of the hall. This is our room. He pushed it open. I'd expected opulence, excess. Instead, the room was understated. A massive bed with crisp white linens, dark furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking gardens, a fireplace, bookshelves, and my things, my pathetic collection of belongings, arranged carefully on a dresser. Dante set me down on the bed, then stepped back. The bathroom is through there, he pointed. Closet there. If you need anything, there's a phone on the nightstand. It reaches Marco, the kitchen, and me. Where will you sleep? I asked. He looked at the bed, at me. Something unreadable crossed his face. Here, with you. My pulse jumped. You said you wouldn't touch me. I won't. His voice was steady. But I also won't leave you alone in a house you don't know, recovering from 7 bullet wounds, while people who want you dead are still out there. I sleep beside you. That's non-negotiable. He moved to the closet, started removing his jacket. I watched, unable to look away. He moved with such casual grace, unbuttoning his cuffs, rolling up his sleeves, revealing forearms corded with muscle, marked with scars I wanted to ask about. I'll shower, he said. Then we'll have dinner brought up. You must be hungry. He disappeared into the bathroom. A moment later, I heard water running. I sat on the bed, trying to process everything. 3 days ago, I'd been nobody, a waitress who lived alone and had no one. Now I was married to a mafia boss, living in a mansion, wearing a ring worth more than I'd earned in my entire life. It felt like a dream or a trap. I looked down at my hands. The bandages were fresh, clean. Dante had insisted the hospital send me home with supplies, instructions, medication. He was taking care of me. Why? I stood carefully, moved to the window. The gardens below were beautiful, shaped hedges, stone paths, a fountain in the center. But beyond them, I could see the wall, high, unscalable. Was I protected or imprisoned? The bathroom door opened. Dante emerged in dark slacks and a black t-shirt, his hair damp. He looked younger like this, less dangerous. But then I saw the gun he set on the nightstand. Is that necessary? I asked quietly. Always. He looked at me standing by the window. Come, sit. You shouldn't be on your feet. I obeyed, sinking back onto the bed. He knelt in front of me, his hands going to my shoes. I can... Let me. He removed my shoes gently, then my socks. His hands were warm, careful. When he finished, he looked up at me. You're scared of me, he observed. Should I be? Probably. His hand moved to my ankle, his thumb tracing small circles. But I hope you won't be. Not forever. Tell me something true, I whispered. About you. About this life. He was quiet for a long moment, his hand still on my ankle. My father was murdered when I was 19, he finally said. Shot in the back by someone he trusted. I found him in his study, bleeding out on his favorite rug. He lived long enough to tell me to protect the family, to never show weakness, to never trust anyone completely. My chest tightened. I'm sorry. I'm not telling you for sympathy. I'm telling you so you understand why I do things the way I do, why I keep guards, why I sleep with a gun, why I married a woman I barely know because she saved my mother's life. Because family is everything, I said softly. Yes. His eyes met mine. And you're family now. Which means I will burn this city to ash before I let anyone hurt you. It should have sounded like a threat. Instead, it sounded like a vow. I don't know how to be part of this world, I admitted. I don't know the rules, the expectations. I'm going to make mistakes. Then you'll make them. And I'll be there to fix them. He stood, pulling me gently to my feet. Come. You need to eat. He led me to a small table by the window, where food had appeared while we talked: pasta, bread, wine, fruit. I hadn't even heard anyone enter. How did— Dumbwaiter, he said, pointing to a small door in the wall. The kitchen sends meals up. I told you, I prefer privacy. We ate in comfortable silence. The food was incredible, rich and perfectly prepared. I ate more than I had in days, suddenly ravenous. Dante watched me, his expression soft. You should have been a chef, I said. Your kitchen staff is amazing. I'll tell them you approve. He poured me more wine. Tomorrow my mother wants to visit, if you're up to it. I'd like that. Good. He paused. She's already planning to take you shopping. Apparently, you need a proper wardrobe. I looked down at my hospital-provided clothes. I guess I do. You don't need to change anything for me, he said quietly. I liked you in a hospital gown. I'll like you in designer clothes. Lucia, I'd like you in anything. Or nothing. Heat flooded my cheeks. He smiled, that small, rare smile. But for now, he continued, standing and offering his hand. You need rest. Come. He helped me to the bed, pulled back the covers. I climbed in, suddenly exhausted. He turned off the lights, and I heard him moving in the darkness. Then the bed dipped as he slid in beside me. He stayed on his side, careful not to touch me, but I could feel him there, warm, solid, real. Dante, I whispered. Yes? Thank you. For this. For protecting me. Silence. Then his hand found mine in the darkness. Sleep, wife, he murmured. You're safe now. And despite everything, the danger, the strangeness, the impossibility of it all, I believed him. I woke to sunlight and the smell of coffee. Dante was already awake, sitting in a chair by the window, laptop open, phone pressed to his ear. He was speaking Italian, rapid, clipped, clearly giving orders. He wore a suit again, all sharp lines and cold authority. When he saw I was awake, he ended the call. Good morning, he said, setting the phone aside. How do you feel? Sore, but better. I sat up carefully. How long have you been awake? A few hours. I don't sleep much. He gestured to the table where breakfast had appeared: pastries, fruit, eggs, coffee. Eat, then my mother will be here. I made my way to the table, still slow, still aching. Dante watched me with those dark, assessing eyes. The doctor will come this afternoon to check your wounds, he said, and Marco is arranging security for when you leave the estate. I'm allowed to leave? Eventually, when it's safe. He poured coffee, handed me a cup. For now, the grounds are yours. The garden, the library, the pool, anywhere inside the walls. Walls. Always walls. What about you? I asked. Where will you be? Working. I have businesses to run. Problems to solve. He paused. People to deal with. The way he said it sent ice through me. The people who shot at your mother, I said quietly. Are they dealt with? His expression didn't change. Not yet, but soon. Will you kill them? Yes. No hesitation, no apology, just simple, terrifying truth. I should have been horrified, should have recoiled. Instead, I just nodded. What did that say about me? Isabella arrived at noon, bringing sunshine and warmth and bags from stores I'd never dreamed of entering. Kara! She kissed both my cheeks, gentle with my healing body. Look at you. Already you have more color. Dante is taking good care of you, yes? Yes, I said softly. She beamed, then began pulling clothes from bags, dresses, blouses, slacks, all in soft fabrics and muted colors. I guessed your size, she said, but we'll go shopping properly when you're stronger. For now, this will do. Isabella, this is too much. Nonsense. You're a Salvatore now. You must look the part. She held up a dove-gray dress. This will be lovely on you. We spent the afternoon in the garden. Isabella talked about everything and nothing, her charity work, her book club, her favorite restaurants, normal things, safe things. But then, as we sat by the fountain, her hand found mine. I need to tell you something, she said quietly, about my son. I waited. Dante's father, my husband, he was a hard man, cruel sometimes. He raised Dante to be strong, unbreakable, but in doing so, he broke something in him. Her eyes were distant. Dante doesn't know how to be soft, how to let people in. He protects, he provides, but he doesn't feel, not the way he should. Why are you telling me this? Because I see the way he looks at you. She smiled sadly. Like you're something precious, something worth protecting. I haven't seen that in his eyes since he was a boy. Before his father's murder, before he became this. What is he? I asked. Really? He's the head of this family, which means he's responsible for hundreds of lives. Thousands, if you count the businesses, the territories, the alliances. Every decision he makes affects people. Every weakness can be exploited. She squeezed my hand. But with you, I think he wants to be weak. He just doesn't know how. Before I could respond, movement caught my eye. Dante was crossing the garden toward us, another man beside him. Younger, sharper, with eyes that missed nothing. Madre, Dante greeted, kissing her cheek. Lucia, this is Enzo Russo. The name hit me like a fist. Russo, the family who tried to kill Isabella. I stood instinctively, but Dante's hand on my shoulder kept me still. It's all right, he said quietly. Enzo is here under a flag of truce. Enzo stepped forward, his expression unreadable. He looked at me for a long moment, then at Isabella. Mrs. Salvatore, he said formally, I apologize for the actions of my family. The attack on your life was unauthorized, unsanctioned. Unauthorized, Isabella repeated, her voice ice. But still carried out by your men. My cousin's men, Enzo corrected. Men he hired without the family's knowledge. Men who are now dead. Dante's hand tightened on my shoulder. Your cousin is also dead, Dante said flatly. As you know. Yes. Enzo's jaw clenched. And his death has created complications. But I'm not here to debate justice. I'm here to offer peace, renewed peace, and to thank Mrs. Salvatore. He turned to me, for her sacrifice. I didn't know what to say. This man's family had tried to kill Isabella, had put 7 bullets in me, and now he stood in her garden, offering thanks. The thank you is noted, Dante said coldly, but not accepted. You have 3 days to withdraw your family's operations from the east side. After that, every Russo who remains becomes fair game. Enzo's eyes flashed. That's half our territory. Consider it payment for the bullets my wife took. Dante's voice was deadly soft. Or would you prefer I take more? The tension was suffocating. Finally, Enzo nodded. 3 days. You have my word. Your word means nothing after what happened. But your fear does. And you are afraid. I can see it. Enzo left without another word, escorted by guards who appeared from nowhere. When we were alone, Dante pulled me close, his hand cupping my face. "Are you all right?" he asked. "You just threatened a war," I whispered. "Over me." "Yes. Dante. He's lucky I'm only taking territory." My first instinct was to take his head. His thumb brushed my cheekbone. But that would have started something I can't finish without bloodshed, so I compromised. "This is your world," I said softly. "Threats and territory and blood." "Yes. And you're in it now." His eyes searched mine. "If you want out, tell me. I'll protect you regardless, but you won't be my wife." "Not really." I should have said yes, should have run, but Isabella's words echoed in my mind. He wants to be weak. He just doesn't know how. "I don't want out," I heard myself say. Something shifted in his expression. Relief, hunger, something deeper. "Then you need to understand something," he said quietly. "In this world, weakness is death, and you—" His hand moved to the back of my neck, holding me steady. "You are my greatest weakness now, which means you'll also be my greatest target." "I can handle it." "Can you?" His forehead touched mine. "Can you handle knowing that people will try to hurt you to hurt me? That every time I leave this house, you'll wonder if I'm coming back? That the man you married has killed more people than you can imagine?" "I took 7 bullets for your mother," I whispered. "I think I can handle being your wife." He kissed me then. Not gentle this time, fierce, claiming. His hands in my hair, his body pressing mine against the fountain wall. I gasped against his mouth, and he gentled immediately, pulling back. "I'm sorry," he said roughly. "I shouldn't have—" "Don't apologize." My hands fisted in his shirt. "I'm not broken, Dante. I'm healing." "You're mine," he said, the words almost reverent. "And I don't know how to be careful with things that are mine. I want to protect you and possess you and—" He stopped, jaw clenched. "I need to go. Before I forget, you're still recovering." He stepped back, putting distance between us. "Rest," he ordered. "I'll be in my office if you need me." Then he was gone, leaving me breathless and confused and aching for reasons that had nothing to do with bullets. Isabella emerged from the roses smiling. "Like I said," she murmured, "he wants to be weak. And Kara, you're already making him soft." The days fell into a rhythm. Mornings, I woke alone. Dante was always up before dawn, working in his office or taking calls in Italian that I didn't understand. Breakfast appeared like magic. I'd eat, then wander the estate. The library became my sanctuary. 3 floors of books, leather chairs, a fireplace that someone kept lit. I spent hours there, losing myself in stories that were safer than my reality. Afternoons, Dante would find me. Sometimes he worked beside me in silence, laptop open, phone constantly ringing. Other times, he'd simply sit, watching me read, his presence both comforting and unnerving. Evenings were dinner together. He'd ask about my day, I'd ask about his. He never gave details about his work, just vague assurances that things were handled or in progress. And nights were torture. We shared the bed. He kept his promise not to touch me, but the proximity was maddening. I'd feel the heat of him, hear his breathing, sense every movement. Sometimes I'd wake to find his arm around me, unconscious, protective, and I'd lie there, afraid to move, afraid to wake him, afraid of what it meant that I liked it. 2 weeks passed this way. My wounds healed. The stitches came out. The scars remained. 7 puckered marks across my body that Dante traced sometimes when he thought I was asleep. His fingers gentle, his touch reverent, like I was something holy he'd saved from destruction. "You need to get out of the house," Marco announced one afternoon, finding me in the library. "Boss's orders." I looked up from my book. "He sent you to tell me that?" "He's in a meeting, can't be interrupted, but he said you've been cooped up long enough. Fresh air, sunshine, normal things. Marco grinned. Within the walls, of course. Of course, I murmured. He led me to a part of the estate I hadn't explored yet. A greenhouse, all glass and greenery and warmth. Inside, flowers bloomed in impossible profusion. Orchids, roses, something tropical and fragrant. Dante's mother designed this, Marco said, before she moved to her own place. She still comes to tend it sometimes. It's beautiful. Yeah, boss comes here too. When things get bad, when he needs to think. Marco looked at me seriously. He's been coming here a lot lately. Because of me? Because of you. Because of the Russos. Because running a family is complicated and messy, and he's trying to keep everyone alive. He paused. But mostly because of you. I'm making things harder for him. No. You're making things make sense for him. Marco smiled. I've known Dante since we were kids. I've never seen him like this, distracted, almost human. He is human. Maybe now he's remembering that. That night, Dante came to bed late, smelling like whiskey and smoke. I was awake, reading by lamplight. You're still up, he observed, loosening his tie. Couldn't sleep. I set the book aside. Hard day? Long day. He sat on the edge of the bed, ran a hand through his hair. The Russos are pushing back on the territory deal, claiming I'm being unreasonable. Are you? Probably. He looked at me. But I don't care. They put bullets in you. They tried to kill my mother. Reasonable went out the window the moment that happened. He stood, started undressing. I'd grown used to this, the casualness of sharing space, but tonight felt different, charged. I went to the greenhouse today, I said, needing to fill the silence. Marco showed me. And? It's beautiful, peaceful. Good. You can go whenever you want. He disappeared into the bathroom, came back in sleep pants, no shirt. I tried not to stare at the expanse of his chest, the scars that marked his skin like a road map of violence. He slid into bed beside me, close enough that I could feel the heat of him. Lucia, he said quietly, I need to tell you something. My heart stuttered. Okay. The peace talks with the Russos, they're failing, which means things are going to escalate, soon. How soon? Days, maybe less. His hand found mine in the darkness. I'm telling you because I need you to be prepared, to stay alert, to trust Marco and the guards if something happens. If something happens to you. Yes. Fear gripped me. Dante. I'm not planning to die, but in this life, planning only gets you so far. His thumb traced circles on my palm. If something does happen, Marco has instructions, money, new identity. He'll get you somewhere safe. I don't want somewhere safe, I whispered. I want you. The words hung between us, raw and honest. He turned toward me, his hand moving to my face. Say that again, he demanded softly. I want you, I repeated, my voice trembling. I don't know when it happened or how, but somewhere between the hospital and now, I stopped being afraid and started feeling. Lucia, I know I'm not supposed to. I know this started as protection, as debt, but I can't help it. When you're gone, I count the hours until you're back. When you're here, I feel safe. And at night, when you're beside me, I wish you'd... I couldn't finish. His eyes were black in the dim light, burning with something that made my breath catch. You wish I'd what? His voice was rough. Touch you? Kiss you? Stop being careful? Yes. He moved so fast I gasped. One moment he was beside me, the next he was over me, his body caging mine, his hands braced on either side of my head. I've been careful because you're healing, he said, his face inches from mine. Because you're innocent. Because I'm afraid if I start, I won't stop. Do you understand what you're asking for? I understand. Do you? His hand moved to my throat, not threatening, just resting there, feeling my pulse race. I'm not gentle, Lucia. I take. I possess. I don't know how to be soft. Then don't be. My hands moved to his chest, feeling the thunder of his heartbeat. I'm not asking for soft. I'm asking for you. He made a sound, half groan, half curse, and then his mouth was on mine. Not gentle, not careful, consuming. I kissed him back, pouring everything into it, fear and desire and need I didn't fully understand. His weight settled over me, delicious and overwhelming. His hands were in my hair, tilting my head, deepening the kiss. When he pulled back, we were both breathing hard. Not tonight, he said roughly. Not when you're still healing. Not when I can't be what you deserve. Dante, soon. His thumb brushed my swollen lips. I promise. But not like this. Not when I'm wound tight and you're vulnerable. He rolled away, putting distance between us again. I felt the loss like a physical ache. Sleep, he ordered, before I changed my mind. I turned away, closing my eyes, trying to calm my racing heart. But hours later, when sleep finally came, I felt his arm wrap around me, felt him pull me back against his chest, felt his lips press against my shoulder. Mia Mowgli, he whispered. My wife, my weakness, my damnation. I should have been afraid of the darkness in his voice. Instead, I felt safe. The call came at 3 in the morning. I woke to Dante's phone ringing, to him answering in clipped Italian, to the sudden tension in his body. He was out of bed in seconds, pulling on clothes, checking his gun. What's happening? I asked, fear threading through me. Stay here. Lock the door after me. Don't open it for anyone except Marco. He was across the room, all business, no warmth. Understand? Dante, do you understand? Yes. He came back, kissed me hard and fast. I'll be back by sunrise, I promise. Then he was gone. I locked the door, my hands shaking, sat on the bed, waiting. The house was silent, too silent. An hour passed, 2. Then I heard gunfire. Distant, outside the walls, but unmistakable. I grabbed my phone, called Marco. Stay in the room, he answered immediately. We're handling it. What's happening? The Russos decided to make a statement. We're making one back. Stay put. The line went dead. More gunfire, closer now. I paced the room, heart hammering. Every instinct screamed to run, to hide, to escape. But Dante had told me to stay, to trust. So I stayed. Dawn came gray and cold. The gunfire stopped. Silence returned. Then, finally, footsteps in the hall. Lucia. It's me. Dante's voice. Exhausted. Rough. I unlocked the door, pulled it open. He stood there, suit rumpled, blood on his shirt, exhaustion carved into his features. But alive. Whole. I threw myself into his arms. He caught me, held me tight, his face buried in my hair. I'm all right, he murmured. I'm all right. I told you I'd come back. You're bleeding. Not my blood. He pulled back, looked at me. Are you okay? Did anyone? I'm fine. I stayed in the room like you said. My hands were shaking against his chest. What happened? The Russos tried to breach the walls. We stopped them. His jaw clenched. It's over now. They won't try again. How do you know? Because I made sure they understood what happens when they come after what's mine. The way he said it, cold, absolute, sent shivers through me. He guided me back to bed, started undressing. When he pulled off his shirt, I saw bruises blooming across his ribs. Evidence of violence I couldn't begin to understand. You should see a doctor, I said. I've had worse. He disappeared into the bathroom. I heard water running, heard him washing away blood and gunpowder. When he emerged, he was clean, but the exhaustion remained. He slid into bed and for the first time pulled me immediately against him. No distance, no restraint. "I need to feel you," he said quietly. "Need to know you're safe." I pressed closer, my head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. "I was terrified," I admitted. "When I heard the gunfire, when I didn't know if you were—" "I know." His hand stroked my hair. "I'm sorry. This is the life. This is what I do." "I know." I tilted my head back, looked at him. "And I'm still here." Something shifted in his eyes. "Why?" he asked. "Why stay? You could leave. I'd protect you regardless, set you up somewhere safe, give you everything you need." "Why stay in this?" "Because I love you." The words came out before I could stop them. Raw, true, inevitable. His hand stilled in my hair. "Lucia, I know I'm not supposed to. I know this started wrong, but I can't help it. Somewhere between protection and proximity, I fell, and I can't get back up." He stared at me for a long moment. Then he kissed me. Slow this time, deliberate, pouring everything into it that he couldn't say. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. "I don't deserve this," he whispered. "Don't deserve you. But God help me, I'm too selfish to let you go." "Then don't." His hand moved down my side, careful of my healed scars. "You're not healed enough. I'm healed enough." I pulled back, looked at him. "Stop protecting me from yourself." "Lucia." "Show me," I said softly. "Show me who you are, all of it. The violence, the possession, the darkness you think I can't handle. You don't know what you're asking." "I do." My hand moved to his face, traced the hard line of his jaw. "I'm asking for everything. I'm asking you to stop holding back." For a moment, he just looked at me. Then something broke in him. He kissed me again, harder, his hands moving over me with purpose now. Not gentle, not careful, but not cruel either. Just intense, overwhelming. "Tell me to stop," he demanded against my mouth. "Tell me you've changed your mind." "I haven't." His hands found the hem of my nightgown, started pulling it up. I helped him, suddenly desperate, suddenly sure. "Last chance," he warned. Instead of answering, I pulled him down to me, kissing him with everything I had. He groaned, a sound of surrender and claiming both. What followed wasn't soft. Wasn't the tender, romantic first time I'd once imagined. It was intense and overwhelming and occasionally too much, and somehow exactly right. He was careful of my scars, but everywhere else he was demanding, possessive, showing me exactly what it meant to be his. And I let him, met him, gave him everything he asked for. Afterward, we lay tangled together, both breathing hard, both changed. "I love you," I whispered into the darkness. "I know it's insane, but I do." His arm tightened around me. "I've killed for you," he said quietly. "Threatened war for you. Changed everything in my life for you. If that's not love, I don't know what is." It wasn't a declaration, wasn't pretty or poetic, but it was honest, and it was enough. I fell asleep in his arms, feeling safer than I had any right to feel then. I woke hours later to find him watching me. "What is it?" I asked sleepily. "Just memorizing this," he said. "You? Here. Mine. I'm not going anywhere. You say that now, but eventually you'll see all of me, all the things I've done, and I'll what? Run?" I shook my head. "Dante, I already know what you are. You think I don't understand? You kill people, hurt people, run an empire built on fear and loyalty and blood. I know, and I'm still here." "Why?" Because beneath all of that, you're also the man who held me while I bled, who married me to protect me, who keeps his promises, who looks at his mother with such love it breaks my heart, who comes to the greenhouse when things get too heavy. I touched his face. You're not just the darkness, Dante. You're also the man who's learning to be soft, for me. His hand covered mine. You're going to ruin me, he said. Good. Maybe you need to be ruined. He smiled, that rare, beautiful smile. Maybe I do. He kissed me again, gentle this time. A promise, not a claim. The Russo situation is resolved, he said after. But there will be others. There are always others. Can you live with that? With never knowing when danger will come? With knowing every day that someone might try to take you to hurt me? Can you live with loving someone who makes you weak? I countered. I'm learning to. Then we'll learn together. He pulled me close, and we stayed like that as morning light filled the room. For a moment, the world was quiet. For a moment, we were just two people who'd found each other in the darkness. It wouldn't last. I knew that. His world was too violent, too dangerous. Eventually, something would come for us. But for now, I was his, and he was mine, and that was enough. Life shifted after that night. Dante was still dangerous, still cold to the outside world. But with me, the walls were down. He touched me freely now, his hand on my waist as we passed in the hall, his lips on my neck as I read, his body curled around mine every night. The household noticed. I saw it in Marco's knowing smiles, in the guards' respectful nods, in Isabella's delighted comments about how happy her son seemed. He laughs now, she told me over tea one afternoon. Did you know? I heard him on the phone yesterday actually laughing at something Marco said. I can't remember the last time I heard that sound. I didn't tell her it was because I'd hidden his favorite tie and refused to return it until he admitted I was a better cook than his professional chef. It was a small rebellion, a tiny moment of normalcy in our strange life. But I'd won, and he'd laughed. You're good for him, Isabella continued. I was worried, you know, when he told me he was going to marry you. I thought perhaps it was just duty, obligation. It was, I admitted, at first. But not now. Now it's, I searched for the word. Everything. She smiled, reaching for my hand. Good, because what's coming will test that everything. My stomach tightened. What's coming? Before she could answer, Dante appeared in the doorway. Madre, he said, his voice tight. Devo andare. She stood immediately, kissed my cheek. Be strong, Cara. Remember, you're a Salvatore now. Act like it. She left, and Dante came to me, pulling me to my feet. What's wrong? I asked. There's a meeting tonight. All the families. I have to attend. His hands framed my face. And you have to come with me. Fear spiked. Why? Because my wife's absence would be seen as weakness, or worse, as shame. I need them to see you, to see us together, to understand that you're untouchable. Dante, I don't know how to do this. I don't know the rules, the politics. You don't need to know. You just need to be beside me, poised, quiet, beautiful. Can you do that? I wanted to say no, wanted to hide in our room in our safe cocoon, but Isabella's words echoed. You're a Salvatore now. Act like it. Yes, I said. I can do that. Relief crossed his face. He kissed me, hard and possessive. My mother is sending her stylist. You'll need something appropriate. He hesitated. And Lucia. There will be people there who hate me, who hate my family. They'll look for weakness. Don't give them any. I won't. Good. Another kiss. I have to prepare. The car leaves at 8. The dress Isabella sent was black silk, elegant and modest, but undeniably expensive. The stylist did my hair in a sleek twist, my makeup understated but perfect. When I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. I looked like I belonged in Dante's world. The thought both thrilled and terrified me. Dante knocked at 7:45, entering without waiting for permission. A habit now. He stopped when he saw me, his eyes darkening. Bellissima, he breathed. Will I do? You'll have every man in the room wanting you, and every woman wanting to be you. He crossed to me, pulled a velvet box from his pocket. But just to make it clear who you belong to, he opened it. Inside was a necklace, diamonds and sapphires, intricate and clearly antique. It was my grandmother's, he said quietly. She wore it to every important family event. My mother wore it at her wedding. Now it's yours. Tears pricked my eyes as he fastened it around my neck. I don't deserve this, I whispered. You took bullets for my family. You married me without question. You love me despite what I am. His hands settled on my shoulders. You deserve everything. The meeting was held at a private club in the city, all marble and leather and old money. Armed men flanked every entrance. The air thrummed with tension. Dante kept me close, his hand on the small of my back, guiding me through rooms full of powerful, dangerous men. They stared, all of them, some with curiosity, some with hunger, some with barely concealed contempt. Dante felt like granite beside me, radiating controlled violence. "Salvatore!" a man called, older, silver-haired with cold eyes. So this is the famous wife, the woman who stopped 7 bullets. Don Castellano, Dante replied evenly. Yes, this is Lucia. Impressive, although some might say foolish. The Don's eyes raked over me, running toward danger instead of away, not a quality one usually looks for in a wife. No, Dante agreed, his voice deadly soft. One usually looks for obedience, silence, decorative uselessness. Fortunately, I don't deal in usual. Castellano's smile didn't reach his eyes. Clearly. A woman approached, younger, beautiful, dripping diamonds. Dante, she purred, it's been too long. Sophia. His tone was polite but cold. Allow me to introduce my wife, Lucia. Sophia's eyes went ice. Wife? How quaint. I hadn't realized you were the marrying type. I wasn't, Dante said, until I met her. His hand tightened on my waist, a gesture of possession and protection both. Sophia's smile sharpened. How romantic. Although I suppose 7 bullets does inspire a certain gratitude. The insult was clear, that I'd traded heroism for a wedding ring, that this was transactional. Before Dante could respond, I spoke. Gratitude goes both ways, I said quietly. He saved my life as much as I saved his mother's. The rest is no one's business but ours. Silence fell. Sophia's eyes widened. Castellano looked amused. And Dante looked at me like I just declared war and won. Well, Sophia said finally, it seems you found your match, Dante. How unexpected. She drifted away, venom in every step. You didn't have to do that, Dante murmured. Yes, I did. She insulted us. I'm your wife. I won't stand silent when people disrespect that. His eyes burned. We're leaving, now. But the meeting can happen without me. I need to get you home before I do something inappropriate. He practically dragged me to the car, his control visibly fraying. The moment we were inside, doors locked, privacy glass up, he pulled me onto his lap. Do you have any idea what you did in there? He demanded. Defended us? Claimed me, in front of everyone who matters, marked your territory. His hand tangled in my hair. God, Lucia, you have no idea how much I want you right now. Then have me, I whispered. The drive home was a blur. We barely made it to the bedroom before he was on me, frantic and possessive and overwhelming. This was different from before, more intense. Like something had broken free in both of us. Afterward, tangled in sheets, he held me like I might disappear. "I love you," he said, finally, completely. "I'm in love with you, and it terrifies me." "Good," I whispered. "Because I'm terrified too. But you're still here. I'm still here." He kissed my shoulder, my neck, my jaw. "Then we'll be terrified together." The attack came 3 days later. I was in the library reading when the first explosion rocked the house. Books tumbled from shelves, the chandelier swayed, car alarms screamed outside. Then gunfire. Rapid, close. I ran to the window, saw smoke rising from the east wall, saw figures in black pouring through the breach, saw Dante's guards engaging them, outnumbered. Marco burst through the door. "We need to move, now." "What's happening?" "The Russos. Final play." "They're hitting us hard." He grabbed my arm. "Dante's orders. Get you to the safe room. Come on." We ran through corridors I'd only half explored, downstairs I didn't know existed. Behind us, I heard more explosions. Screams, the sharp crack of gunfire. "Where's Dante?" I gasped. "Fighting. Where he always is when people threaten his family." Marco's jaw was tight. "He'll meet us when it's done." We reached a steel door hidden behind a wine rack. Marco punched in a code, pushed me inside. "Stay here. Don't open this door for anyone except Dante or me. Understand?" "Marco, promise me." "I promise." He hesitated, then pressed a gun into my hands. "Just in case." Then he was gone, the door slamming shut, locks engaging. I was alone in a small room lined with monitors showing different parts of the estate. I watched in horror as the battle unfolded. Dante's men were good, professional, but they were outgunned. And then I saw him. Dante, moving through the chaos like death incarnate. Gun in one hand, knife in the other. Every movement precise, lethal, beautiful in its terrible efficiency. He was protecting the path to me. I realized it suddenly. Every man he killed, every position he held, it was all about keeping them away from this room. From me. He's going to die protecting me. The thought crystallized everything. I couldn't hide while he bled, couldn't cower while he fought alone. I checked the gun Marco had given me, loaded, safety off, then I did the thing I'd promised not to do. I opened the door. He felt the moment she left the safe room, felt it like a knife between his ribs, sharp and sudden and wrong. "Cazzo," he swore, dropping the man he'd been fighting. "Marco, she's out." "What?" Marco's voice crackled through the earpiece. "How?" "Find her. Now. I don't care what's happening. Find my wife." He moved faster, more reckless, cutting through enemies with single-minded purpose. Every second she was exposed was a second she could die. And if she died, nothing else mattered. He found her on the main staircase, gun raised, facing down two Russo soldiers who'd broken through the front line. They saw her, raised their weapons. Time slowed. Dante moved without thinking, throwing himself between Lucia and the bullets. He felt the impact, one in the shoulder, one in the side, felt pain bloom hot and sharp, but he didn't stop. He killed both men before he hit the ground. "Dante!" Lucia was there, hands on his face, terrified. "Oh, God. You're shot. Why are you out of the safe room?" He grabbed her arm, too rough, too scared. "Why would you—" "Because I couldn't hide while you died for me." More gunfire. Marco appeared, covering them. "Boss, we need to move." "Get her out," Dante ordered through gritted teeth. "Get her somewhere safe." "I'm not leaving you," Lucia said fiercely. "This is not a discussion." "Neither is this. I'm your wife. I stay with you, or we both die here." She meant it. He saw it in her eyes, the same reckless courage that had made her run toward bullets for his mother. "Stubborn woman," he muttered. Stubborn man. Despite everything, the pain, the danger, the chaos, he almost smiled. Marco helped him up. Together, the three of them fought their way to the secured wing, leaving bodies in their wake. By the time they reached safety, the battle was ending. Dante's reinforcements had arrived. The Russos were retreating, taking their dead with them. It was over. But Dante's vision was fading, blood loss catching up. The last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was Lucia's face, tears streaming, hands pressing against his wounds. Don't you dare die, she was saying. Don't you dare leave me. I love you, you stupid, brave, impossible man. Don't you dare. I won't, he tried to say. But darkness swallowed the words. They operated on him in the estate's medical wing, a fully equipped surgical suite I hadn't known existed. I wasn't allowed in. Marco physically restrained me, holding me while I screamed, while I fought, while I broke. He'll be okay, he kept saying. He's survived worse. He'll be okay. Hours passed. Isabella arrived, pale but composed. She held my hand, whispered prayers in Italian. Finally, the doctor emerged. He'll live, he said, but it was close. Another inch to the left, the second bullet would have hit his heart. Can I see him? He's still sedated, but yes. I ran to the recovery room, stopped short at the sight of him. Dante lay unconscious, pale, wrapped in bandages. Machines beeped steadily. An IV dripped clear fluid into his arm. He looked mortal, vulnerable. I pulled a chair to his bedside, took his hand, and cried until I had nothing left. He woke at dawn, his eyes finding mine immediately. You're here, he rasped. Where else would I be? Safe, away from me, away from this life. Too late for that. I squeezed his hand. You took bullets for me, again. We're even now. We'll never be even. His thumb brushed my knuckles. You changed everything, Lucia. Made me want things I'd given up on, made me believe in something beyond survival. I love you, I whispered. Even when you're being stupid and sacrificing yourself. I love you too. He pulled me down, kissed me despite the pain it clearly caused. And I'm done playing nice with the Russos. They came into my home, they endangered you. There's no forgiveness for that. What are you going to do? End it. Permanently. His eyes were hard. They'll beg for the mercy they showed my mother, and I'll give them exactly what they gave. None. I should have been horrified. Instead, I just nodded. Do what you need to do, I said. But come back to me. Always come back to me. Always, he promised. Dante recovered faster than anyone expected. Within a week, he was back on his feet, moving with careful precision, rebuilding, replanning, preparing. The Russo family had made their play and failed. Now it was his turn. I watched him transform back into the cold, calculating man I'd first met. But now I saw the other side too, the man who held me at night, who read beside me in quiet moments, who smiled when he thought I wasn't looking. The duality of him was becoming familiar, comforting even. I need to ask you something, he said one night as we lay in bed. And I need you to be honest. Okay. When this is over, when the Russos are dealt with, do you want out? Do you want a normal life? I can give you that. New identity, money, protection from a distance. You could leave this world behind. My heart clenched. Is that what you want? I asked carefully. For me to leave? What I want doesn't matter. Yes, it does. He was quiet for a long moment. I want you to stay, he finally said. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to watch you read in the library and argue with you about ridiculous things. I want to see you stand up to people who disrespect us. I want... He stopped, his voice rough. I want everything. With you. Then you have it, I said simply. Because I'm not going anywhere. This is my life now. You are my life now. Even knowing what's coming, what I have to do, even knowing. He pulled me close, and I felt him exhale, relief maybe, or surrender. The meeting is tomorrow, he said. The final one. All the families will be there. I'm ending the Russo line. Completely. How? Politics, alliances, public condemnation. They violated the old laws by attacking my home. The other families will support their removal. His hand traced patterns on my skin. And if they don't support it willingly, I'll make them. Will there be violence? Probably. Will you? Yes. He cut me off, knowing what I was asking. I'll kill again. As many as necessary. Does that change things? I thought about it. Really thought about it. This man had married me to protect me, had taken bullets for me, had shown me love in the middle of darkness. Yes, he killed. Yes, he was dangerous. But he was also mine. No, I said. It doesn't change things. The next night I dressed carefully. Another black dress, another elegant updo, the Salvatore necklace around my throat. I looked like a queen, felt like one too. Dante came to collect me, devastating in a black suit, his eyes dark and focused. Remember, he said, stay close, say nothing unless asked directly. And if anything happens, I run, I know. No. He framed my face with his hands. If anything happens, you fight. You survive. You live. Promise me. Dante, promise me, Lucia. If I die tonight, you don't follow me into darkness. You take the life I gave you and you live it. Fully. Promise. Tears burned my eyes. I promise. He kissed me, tender and fierce at once. Then let's end this. The meeting was tense from the moment we arrived. The Russo family was there, what was left of them. Enzo Russo looked haunted, his men fewer, his power diminished. The other families watched with predatory interest. Dante stood before them all, commanding the room without effort. 3 weeks ago, he began, his voice carrying easily. The Russo family violated sacred law. They attacked my home, endangered my wife, tried to murder my family. Murmurs rippled through the room. We have evidence, Dante continued, nodding to Marco, who distributed folders. Financial records, testimony, proof that this was not an isolated incident but a calculated attempt to start a war. We were defending our territory, Enzo burst out. You were pushing us out. Because you tried to kill my mother, Dante said coldly. Or did you forget that detail? My cousin acted alone. Your cousin acted with your family's resources, your family's weapons, your family's blessing. Dante's eyes were merciless. And now your family will pay the price. What are you proposing? Don Castellano asked. Complete dissolution. The Russo territories divided among the remaining families. The Russo name stripped of power and protection. Any Russo who acts against this decree will be dealt with swiftly. You're asking us to end an entire bloodline, another Don said. I'm asking you to uphold the law. They came into my home. They endangered innocents. They broke the peace. Dante's hand found mine, squeezed. And they showed no mercy. So I will show none. The vote was quick, unanimous. The Russo family was finished. Enzo stood, shaking with rage and humiliation. You'll regret this, Salvatore. One day, when you're not looking, when you're comfortable. Dante moved faster than thought. His gun appeared, pressed against Enzo's forehead. The room went silent. Make one more threat against my family, Dante said softly, and I'll paint the walls with your brain. Do you understand? Enzo's face went white. I understand. Good. Dante stepped back, holstered the gun. Now get out, and be grateful I'm letting you live. In the car afterward, Dante was quiet, tense. It's done, I said softly. The political part, yes, but Enzo won't stop. Not really. Men like him, they carry grudges until someone ends them. Then you'll end him, when the time comes. He looked at me, something like wonder in his eyes. You've changed, he observed. Harder, colder. I've adapted. This is the life I chose. I'm not going to fall apart every time it gets difficult. You're not afraid of what I am anymore. I'm not afraid of you, I corrected. I'm afraid for you. There's a difference. He pulled me close, kissed the top of my head. I don't deserve you. Too bad. You're stuck with me. For better or worse. Until death, I agreed. He laughed softly, darkly. Death is going to have to work hard to separate us, amore mio, because I'm not letting you go, not in this life or the next. I believed him. That night we made love slowly, carefully, memorizing each other, celebrating survival, acknowledging what we'd both become. Afterward, lying in the darkness, I asked the question that had been haunting me. Do you think we'll ever be safe? Really safe? No, he said honestly. This life, there's always another threat, another enemy, another war. Then why stay in it? Because it's all I know, because the family needs me, because, he paused, because leaving would mean showing weakness, and weakness gets you killed. So we just live like this? Forever? We live like this until I can find a way out. A clean break. Something that keeps the family protected, but gets us free. His hand found mine in the dark. I'm working on it. I swear. I trust you. You shouldn't. But I do. He held me tighter. Then I'll spend the rest of my life proving I'm worth it. 6 months later, life had settled into something almost normal. Almost. Dante still ran the family business, still dealt with threats and politics and violence, but he'd also stepped back from the front lines, delegating more to Marco and his other captains. We spent evenings together, quiet dinners, lazy mornings, stolen moments of peace in a life defined by chaos. I'd learned to navigate his world, the parties, the meetings, the careful dance of respect and power. I was no longer the innocent girl who'd taken bullets. I was Lucia Salvatore, wife of the most feared man in the city, and I wore the title well. But beneath the surface, tensions remained. Enzo Russo had gone quiet, too quiet. He's planning something, Dante said one night, pacing our bedroom. I can feel it, then deal with it. It's not that simple. He's gone underground, no territory, no business, just waiting. For what? For the perfect moment to strike back. I watched him move, agitated, dangerous even in his worry. So we strike first, I said. He stopped, looked at me. We? I'm your wife, your partner. Don't shut me out when things get dangerous. That's when I need to be closest. Something shifted in his expression. Pride, maybe. Or love. You're right, he said finally. We handle it together. The opportunity came 2 weeks later. Intelligence suggested Enzo was hiding in a warehouse on the docks, planning something big. Dante assembled his team, Marco, his best fighters, and, against everyone's protests, me. She stays behind, Marco argued. Boss, she's not trained for this. She's staying with me, Dante said flatly. Where I can protect her. That's final. We moved at midnight, silent, precise. The warehouse was dark, abandoned, too quiet. Dante's hand signal stopped us all. It's a trap, he said softly. As if in answer, lights flooded the space. Gunmen appeared on catwalks above, weapons trained on us, and Enzo stepped out of the shadows smiling. Salvatore, he called. So predictable, I knew you'd come. Let my people go, Dante said, his voice steady despite the weapons aimed at us. This is between you and me. Oh, I don't think so. This is about sending a message. Enzo's eyes found me. About taking from you what you took from me. Dante moved in front of me instantly. Touch her and I'll… Kill me? You're surrounded. Outgunned. For once, you don't have the upper hand. But Dante was smiling. A cold, terrifying smile. You really think I walked into your trap without a contingency plan? He raised his hand, snapped his fingers. Explosions rocked the warehouse, small, controlled, taking out the catwalks. Enzo's gunman fell, screaming. Dante's reinforcements poured in from exits I hadn't known existed. The tables turned in seconds. Enzo's face went white as Dante's gun found his forehead. I've been 3 steps ahead of you this entire time, Dante said softly, waiting for you to make your move so I could end you, permanently. Dante, wait! You threatened my wife, endangered my family. There's no waiting anymore. He pulled the trigger. The sound was deafening, final. Enzo crumpled, and it was over. Later, back at the estate, Dante found me in the greenhouse. I was sitting among Isabella's roses, trying to process what I'd witnessed, what I'd been part of. Are you all right? He asked quietly, sitting beside me. I watched you kill a man tonight. I know. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm not sorry. I looked at him. He was going to kill us. Kill you. You did what you had to do. Lucia, I'm not naive anymore, Dante. I know what this life is. I know what you do, and I choose it anyway. I choose you. He pulled me into his arms, held me tight. The Russo threat is done, he said. But there will be others. There are always others. I know. And you'll stay, knowing that? I'll stay, as long as you keep coming home to me. Always, he promised. No matter what happens, I'll always come home to you. 3 months after that. I found out I was pregnant on a Tuesday. The test sat on the bathroom counter, 2 pink lines staring back at me. Proof of new life, new complications. Dante would be thrilled and terrified. When he came home that evening, I met him at the door. We need to talk, I said. Concern flashed in his eyes. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, but things are about to get more complicated. I handed him the test. He stared at it for a long moment, then his eyes met mine, wonder and fear and overwhelming love all at once. You're pregnant. Yes. He sank onto the nearest chair, the test still in his hand. I'm going to be a father. Yes. This changes everything. I know. He looked up at me, and I saw the calculation happening behind his eyes. The planning, the protection measures, the new concerns. I need to get us out, he said, and it's out of this life, before the baby comes. Dante, I mean it. I won't raise a child in this world. I won't risk them the way I've risked you. We're getting out. How? I've been planning it for months. A clean exit, passing control to Marco, setting up legitimate businesses. It'll take time, but it's possible. He stood, pulled me against him. I promised you I'd find a way. Now I have no choice but to deliver. You'd give up everything? For us? I'd give up anything for you. For this. His hand moved to my still flat stomach. This is my chance to be something other than what my father made me, to be the man you see when you look at me. Tears blurred my vision. I love you, I whispered. So much. I love you too, both of you. He kissed me, gentle and reverent. We're going to have a family, Lucia. A real one. Safe. Happy. Normal. I don't need normal. I just need you. You have me. Forever. I promise. Epilogue. 1 year later. The house in Tuscany was smaller than the estate. Quieter. No guards, no walls. Just us. Dante had kept his promise. He'd stepped away from the family, passed control to Marco, converted his assets into legitimate businesses. It had been messy, complicated, dangerous at moments. But we'd survived. And now, watching him with our daughter, tiny, perfect, with his dark eyes and my smile, I knew it had all been worth it. "She's perfect," he murmured, cradling her against his chest. "How is it possible we made something this perfect?" "Genetics," I said, smiling. "And luck." He looked at me, and I saw everything in his eyes: love, gratitude, wonder. "I never thought I'd have this," he said softly. "Happiness, peace, a real family. But you do." "But I do." He shifted the baby carefully, reached for my hand. "Thank you. For being crazy enough to run toward bullets. For marrying me when you barely knew me. For loving me when I didn't deserve it." "You deserve it," I said firmly. "You've become the man I always knew you could be." "Because of you. Because of us." Our daughter made a small sound, and we both laughed. Outside, the Tuscan sun set over rolling hills. No threats, no violence, no shadows. Just a man, his wife, and their child. Just a family. It wouldn't always be easy. Dante's past would always be there, lurking at the edges, former enemies who might not forget, old debts that might resurface. But for now, we were safe. For now, we were happy. And for now, that was enough.